We believe in taking messy action over chasing perfection. Let's talk about it.
There's nobody to tell you, oh no, you're progressing. I could see a difference.
Yeah. You don't realize you're making progress until you kind of look back and you see, whoa, I'm actually making progress.
I have noticed some changes, small changes, but seeing that, it's a big change.
If you don't see progress quick, people think that it's not working.
Yeah.
They just expect to see quick results right away.
Building the wall brick by brick so you understand when you're up here, well, this is how it works.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
I don't think it's wrong to chase perfection, but I also think it's important to have that mindset that you, most of the time, are not going to hit perfection right away.
People make time for what's important.
Yeah.
So, and when you know your goals, you have it clear and you know where you're going to go, it's easy to say,
let's talk about it.
Progress over perfection.
Wait, are you starting? Because I wasn't ready.
That's a great start. It's very authentic to us.
No, bro, hold on a second. I got to pull the outline up really quick. Okay, so yeah. Bro, I feel like the reason we started this is because I posted on Instagram pictures of you from, I think, 2021 or 2022. And then like a recent, I don't know. But I remember we were talking about how it doesn't feel sometimes like we're making progress in the gym. And then I was like, hold on a second, because I know that you made progress, but I didn't realize how much until I went back and I like put the picture side by side. Bro, I don't understand what was happening.
During that time?
That was only, 3 years ago? 2022.
Oh, 22. Then it was 3 years ago.
And I look at your legs and they're like,
ooh, what's that?
Yeah, I used that thing on there, bro. And I'm like, it's crazy because you don't realize you're making progress until you kind of look back and you see, whoa, I'm actually making progress. If you guys are watching this, find our Instagram. I'm at Eugene Brown on Instagram. Heather is at Heather Brown on Instagram. Just find it. You'll see the picture of her before and after working out. And it almost looks like...
Make sure you go to the third slide on carousel.
Ooh, what's that? But look at it. It almost looks like I photoshopped your legs. That's how little they look. It really does.
When I saw it, I was like, were you using like an extra wide lens?
I didn't do anything.
I know. And it's one of those things where you don't... I was just so skinny.
Yeah. And I've always been I like legs and butts. I'm that kind of guy. And it's like, I don't know how you tricked me. Because now, I mean, you look good then. I mean, you look good for the past, 18 years? Yeah. Longer than that.
Thanks, man.
But just seeing those pictures, I'm like, dang.
I really think it was that time. It was just a few years after we had the girls. And I was breastfeeding them and I wasn't eating enough. And it was just like having kids in general, constantly going and not working out, building muscle, just like losing weight and getting skinny and not even realizing it. Because you go from being pregnant to not pregnant. And so it could just be that drastic change was overly drastic, maybe?
And then, the other thing too is it's just funny when people are like, I don't want to work out because I feel like I'll get bulky. Like, bro, do you know how much work you have to do to get bulky?
Yeah.
That's what we all try to do. But anyways.
I think you're going to work out for a week and turn into She-Hulk.
I know. It was just dope seeing the progress. And I started thinking about how we handle just life in general that way sometimes. We're like, man, we're not making any progress. Not us, just like people.
People in general.
Yeah, and it's like, man, are we even making progress? And it's hard, I feel like, to realize you're making progress if you're not tracking anything. That's why you know this, because I make you track everything. We track everything.
Yeah.
But the better and the more things we can track, the more we can tell, okay, are we getting better or not?
Right.
You know.
I also feel like it sucks for people who don't have another person or people. Like, if you're doing something just as an individual and there's nobody else doing whatever that is with you, there's nobody to tell you, oh, no, you're progressing. I could see a difference. I'm thinking my head is going to the gym.
I think most people relate to gym stuff.
Right. So in whatever you're doing that you're trying to progress in, if you don't have somebody there to say like, you're doing a great job. Like you've come so far. If you're not tracking it, I would say you're definitely not going to be able to see.
Yeah, and it'd be hard to
not-
even stay consistent, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, this isn't working, so I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
But I was like, I love looking at just our pictures from then and now and like seeing how much everything has changed. I'm like, bro.
And I didn't even, that was eye-opening for me because I'm like, I have noticed some changes, small changes, but seeing that, it's a big change.
Yeah, and bro, I see you, like, I don't compare you, but I do see, there's just some girls that are in the gym and they work out. You know they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay? I've seen you stand next to them sometimes and your legs look bigger than theirs.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
You've said that before.
Yeah.
Like if I go get a paper towel or something to clean.
Yes. So you're killing it. Anyways,
Thanks, man.
all to say is I feel like we keep relating to this to the gym because we're just finally back to our home gym and like we are just obsessed.
If you don't know, we were gone for a month on a project.
Yeah.
People be like, what do you mean back to your home gym?
Yeah. Which we did join the Y while we're there because like we needed some
That
gym.
was interesting.
Well, that should be a whole nother podcast. But anyways, I think a lot of times as far as progress when it comes to business or gym, but business or relationships and stuff, if you don't see progress quick, people think that it's not working.
Yeah.
They just expect to see quick results right away.
I would add to that, especially Americans. Because what is it? Instant gratification? People want instant gratification?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what our friend, he always talks about delayed gratification all the time. Like, which I think is like, it's so true. If people could just like delay being or getting the results right away for like, just put in the work, you'll eventually see it. And I feel like consistency beats quick hacks all the time. Everyone's always looking for what's the hack to get to this point? There's no hack in anything. Like you might get lucky and something might work for you, but like to consistently get those results, if you're not consistent, you're not going to be able to repeat the results.
Right.
That's it, right? Makes sense how I said it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking too, I started thinking about hacks as you were saying that. So I think you said it right, but I was on like a 2-track. Like I was also thinking, I'm like, when are hacks necessary? Not necessary, but when can you use hacks?
So I think hacks are like for raising kids. There's always little hacks that we use.
Oh,
You know what I'm
or
saying?
like fixing stuff in the house or cleaning.
Yeah, like hacks as far as like. So here's a hack. I hate cardio, but I've been watching a show, and like while I'm watching the show, I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm freaking doing cardio for an hour because I hate it.
Yeah.
That to me, that's a brain hack just to make me not really focus on it. Or like how I can't remember which of the twins doesn't like take medicine, but how we just sneak her medicine and stuff to where she doesn't know it. That's a hack,
Yeah. So like small things, nothing that's life changing.
Right. Because like people want to get hacks on how do I lose weight quick? And I know I keep going on the gym thing. It's just like that's what we talk about a lot. And people will do what's the commercial
Ozempic?
Yeah, that. They do that and like, okay, yeah, you might lose some weight, but a lot of people I've seen, they have issues from using it.
Well, I think with that too, they have to stay on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But all I'd say is I don't think that, I always feel that consistency beats hacks. And that's with everything in life.
Yeah.
Like there's not going to be a hack, like for us, there's no hack to like, hey, how do you work together?
5 hacks to quickly build a house. No one's going to be like, yes, I want that.
Or just, like I said, working together, there's no hack. It's like just being consistent at little things and they add up.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. But I think I've hit the like consistent.
What's the difference between a hack and a cheat code? Because I know you like saying, working out together is a cheat code.
Oh, it is a cheat code.
Yeah.
Working out together is a cheat code. But that doesn't mean, just because it's a cheat code, that's not saying, I'm going to get the body I want in a week because I'm using this cheat code. Mm-hmm. It's just a cheat code as in, I'm going to keep on coming to the gym. It's like, just to me, that's what I say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I do see progress, but it's fun because we're like trying to hit progress together,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully I answered that right.
Yeah.
Or we're going to both take drinks. We can't both take drinks at the same time.
So let's do
because
it. Make it awkward.
No, because we take drinks at the same time. There's going to be a whole bunch of dead silence.
Take your drink.
Okay, listen. You
I
go
put
to
it
the
down.
next. You go to the next thing in the outline. I'm going to take a drink. You just get ready for whatever's next.
Okay. Okay, here's a question for you. What if somebody's like, I've been consistent, but I'm still not seeing results? How do I know if what I'm doing is actually working?
That's tough because
It is tough.
everyone is going to be different. That's like, and it's like someone saying, "Hey, I'm not losing weight, but I've been in the gym for a year." Okay, are you eating right? What are you doing in the gym? And if you're not tracking stuff, it goes back again to like, are you tracking things and can you see improvements? Because I do think that if you're doing something for so long and you haven't seen any progress or improvements, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So if you're doing the same thing over and over and you're not seeing any progress, give it a few months. You know what I'm saying? I always say 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
I
Try
heard
3
a
months.
saying. Go ahead.
No,
I heard a saying, and I can't remember. It was actually in a sermon. I think it was Stephen Furtick, maybe. But he was like, and I can't remember correctly. I wish I could, but it was something where he's like, I don't like that saying, which changed my mindset about it. Where he's like, because he's like, sometimes you have to keep doing the same, basically like faith. So I guess that doesn't really apply here. This is like something.
Well, you
else.
don't like what he doesn't like. What saying?
He doesn't like the doing the same thing over and over is the definition of insanity.
No,
like,
so it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah,
like
that's why I'm like
true.
the way he said it was so good. I should have like written
you
it
gotta
down
pull
or
that up,
saved
'cause
the link. Yeah, I need to find it because I was like, oh, because I was. I had that, like, I was dead set on, like, this is a great quote, but he really changed my mind about it. But it wasn't, it doesn't apply to everything. It is like having faith. It's basically, it's like, keep doing what you're doing and trust God and, the results will change.
Yeah.
But that doesn't apply to this. So as I talked through that, I realized that.
No, I mean, I want
apply
to
to
hear it because Stephen Furtick, he always says some dope stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure he said it in a way to like, oh, okay, I kind of
Right.
get it. But it's still this, like, if you're trying to make a cake and you keep using the same ingredients and it tastes disgusting every time, if you keep using those same, if you keep using those same ingredients and it tastes disgusting every time, if you keep doing that, that's dumb.
Right.
Like, you're going to keep getting the same results because you're using the same ingredients. Something's missing.
No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? The measurements all. So, like, that's what I mean by doing the same thing over and over, expecting a result.
No, some things are just like it's mathematic. Like 2 + 3 is 5. You're not going to be like, no, I'm going to keep adding 2 + 3 because I want 6.
Yeah, right.
No, that's just not.
Right. But anyways, track stuff. So people that are asking, I can't remember what the question was, but it was like,
I've been consistent, but I'm still not seeing results. How do I know if what I'm doing is actually working?
Yeah, I think are you being consistent enough, first of all? And are you tracking stuff? Like, are you seeing progress? Because here's the thing, some people expect big progress, like huge jumps. You know how it is in the gym. Sometimes adding 2.5 pounds is huge.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the gym, you don't understand that. But if you're in the gym, you know how big of a deal adding 2.5 can be. So sometimes people, they're getting results, but they're not as big of jumps as they want.
Which I was going to say, I want to commend you on that because you're somebody who, like, you want it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you put, and not to say, like, you don't want to do the work, but you're just like, I'm doing this. I want this now. So it's good that you're understanding and saying out loud, adding 2.5, because to you, I know that you're like, no, I just want to add 10 and get to it.
But so listen, I will say that when we first started in the gym, I was that way. Where I was like, oh no, I'm just going to do this. But like, I'm learning that you can hurt yourself that way.
Right. And that's true in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are some things where, and again, this goes back to a hack. Hacks. You can skip a few steps if you have to, but it's better to just.
Yeah.
And mentioned, or I mentioned this in previous podcasts. I can't remember which one it was, but where we were talking about me wanting to do everything step by step, like building the wall brick by brick, so you understand when you're up here, well, this is how it works.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we always say that's so much similar to know the rules so you can break the rules. Yeah. I can't remember where I was going with that.
Yeah, I can't remember where I was going with
like, I had a point. And then I started thinking, oh, that's like this other thing we say. Wait, what we were talking about?
And I think, so I think a lot of people deal with this is they're trying to make sure everything's perfect. And they try to like chase being perfect before they take any action. What would you say to someone who's asking, isn't it better for me to chase perfection so that they don't make mistakes along the way? I know what I would say.
Yeah. So it's funny. It's funny because I'll get to it. My initial answer is I just know that
Let's drop my phone.
You won't reach perfection.
Yeah.
Immediately. I don't think it's wrong to chase perfection, but I also think it's important to have that mindset that you, most of the time, are not going to hit perfection right away. If you do, cool. Just know that next time it may not happen.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that's bad. What was the second half of that question?
It was just if people think, let me look it up. It was really good. Is it better to chase perfection so you don't make mistakes along the way?
Okay, so yes, chase perfection with the knowledge of I may not hit this right away. So yes, do it. Make the mistakes because we all know mistakes are what teach us the good stuff. Like if you just hit perfection without hitting any mistakes, it almost doesn't even feel worth it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I also feel like I don't think there's such thing as perfection because I'm telling you this. I know we have our goals on what we want to look like in the gym.
Yeah.
And I have friends that are like, a year ago, they said they wanted to get to a certain point. Then they get to that point, they're like, oh, that's cool, but I want to do this. So it's always a like, and
like
I think
what is perfection?
I think that like entrepreneurs especially are just built that way to where like you see these, like you set these milestones and you get to them and then you're like, okay, cool, I got this now. I want to do, you know what I'm saying? We're never satisfied.
I think that's human nature.
Well, some people are okay being okay. I think that when it comes to being like entrepreneurs, I do think for the most part, people want the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So much so that I think we even struggle with this sometimes is celebrating little wins. Like when we do accomplish something, like taking a day or a minute, just like, oh, we did that. Cool.
Yeah.
Now on to the next thing, you know?
Right.
But again, there's no such thing, I think, as perfection.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like, try to do your best, but understand that if you don't hit the mark, you're doing better than someone that's not making any moves. But I always think about on Remember Titans.
That's why I laughed earlier when I was like, it's not funny because you're like, what about reaching or whatever the question was? And then I hear Denzel in my head saying, we will be perfect
in every aspect of the game. You drop a ball. I could do that whole movie. Don't play with me in that movie.
I really want to get that framed for the studio or
it's all the whole like that. I would love that. Let's say somebody pushes back with, I want to be consistent, but I get bored doing the same thing over and over. How do I stay motivated?
I would ask you that question.
Why are you going to ask me?
Because I feel like you get bored easily doing the same thing over and over.
I get so bored. But
I'm a creature of habit. So for me, I'm like...
Here's the thing. And it's going to sound like a broken record. When you're tracking stuff and you can see that the boring stuff you're doing is making progress, it's so easy to keep doing the boring things. Because you're like, wait a minute. You took a picture of me. We were, trying to think, was it?
At Disney.
Oh, yeah, it was at Disney. And I was walking away and I saw my back. I'm like, bro, my back is actually doing that V thing. I'm like, it's crazy because I don't see my back. You know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like we do the same. We've been doing the same workout for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, but seeing them like, bro, it's pain. And I can see because of the numbers, you know, I lift more, even if it's like 0.25, like I said.
Yeah.
But still seeing that, it just makes me like, okay, this is working.
Yeah.
So there's something to, do the boring thing. Keep doing it consistently and good. Those little stacks win. Like you stack one thing at a time. You know, that's what I say.
Yeah. I mean, it may sound cliche, but it's like planting something. You put a seed in the ground, water and sunlight.
Yeah.
It seems like the most basic, boring thing. And well, depending on what it is that you're growing, it could take a few days. It could take weeks.
Yep.
And then before you know it, like you see a little green thing pop. And you know me, every time I'm like, I got this little green thing popping out. And then before you know it, you have a big tall plant. And then you have vegetables, fruit, whatever.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I remember when there was nothing but a seed. It was just dirt. That's all I saw.
Yep. And like even with like the clients we have, we tell them like most people we don't even take on as clients if they're not committed to at least 3 months. And we let them know right off the jump, like, listen, we have a system and it works. What's another quote from Remember Titans, just like Novocaine. What is it? I can't remember the line
I don't know. I don't remember that one.
The play's like Novocaine, run it. Oh, that pisses me off. I can't remember what the quote is. If you're listening, I know you know what the quote is.
If you know, remember the Titans, you probably.
He said something about Novocaine, and I know this whole movie. I can't believe I'm like brain farting right now. But it's like, keep doing. I'm just gonna be annoyed the rest of this podcast because I cannot remember that one thing. I feel like I should look. I'm not gonna look it up. We'll get toward the end. I'm gonna like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
We should pause the podcast here.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. We're gonna keep going. But all that to say, keep doing the boring things until they work. You know? Especially if you're tracking it and you're seeing they work, even if it's little progress. You know, if it's little progress, it's better than nothing at all. That makes sense.
Yeah. So then, how would people balance being patient with having to change their approach?
You know what I'm going to say? If you track it, if you track your progress, give it some time.
Go ahead.
No, give it some time. And if you're not seeing anything, something has to change. If you are baking cookies, okay, and you use the same ingredients and it's disgusting, okay, let's fix something. Let's add this, you know, like that's all. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So it's not about, you do have to be patient because nothing that's tough comes really easy or quick. Like no matter what people say, it takes time and you got to put in reps to get from A to B or A to Z. Did I say whatever? You know what I mean?
Unless it's Chick-fil-A.
Oh, hell. But yeah, I guess the question was being balanced. How do you balance being patient and what was the other thing?
Knowing when to change your approach.
Yeah. I just think 3 months is a good amount of time to see if you're making progress.
Well, it depends on what you're doing too.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying with our clients. We tell them 3 months, you know, like we have a system, it works. You just have to be consistent with it, you know, in order to start seeing progress.
I think setting a goal too of a timeline.
Yeah,
like
having
give
KPIs
yourself, go
is really,
into it, and you may not even know it right away. Like it may take a few weeks of whatever you're doing. Give yourself a few weeks and then be like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this for 3 months, or I need to keep doing this for 1 year to see the progress.
Yeah.
And then if it's working, cool. If not, switch something up.
And do ask people, like get some people that are like where you want to be and say, if I was going to do something, what would you recommend me do in order to get to this point here? And most people are going to help you. Like, look, start doing this consistently. And this is what I did. And if you can start doing this, you'll see some progress. You know, find some people that have done it. That's a really good,
that's great advice. And I think people are afraid to do that for the most part and not necessarily ask for help, but we all have things that we aspire to do or to be. Okay, well then look, who is somebody who I can approach about this and ask them about it, you know? Yeah. I was just thinking, I said approachable because I'm like, there are some, like, I can't exactly, I don't want to say I can't. In this current situation that I'm in, on this timeline of my life, I can't just call up Michael Bay and start asking him questions.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean by approachable. Somebody where it's a
Who you
feasible.
who you have access to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. And you know,
Yes.
like, those people aren't, like, it's great. What is it, 6 degrees of separation, whatever that thing is? I'm sure we know someone that knows someone that knows.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think, I can't remember what the question was, but I think we hit it, right? Balancing, knowing when to change your approach.
Yeah, we're just talking about timeline. Give
yeah.
yourself some time. Set a goal for your time.
Track your stuff. I'm going to say that 1,000 times. Like, track your stuff, man. No matter what it is, if you don't track it, you can't improve it. You can't improve it. If you don't track it, you can't improve it. Period. Like, I don't. There's nothing in this world that you can improve without tracking it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That actually, because I think you can track everything. What can you not track? Like, are there things you can't track? If you guys are watching this on YouTube or wherever you watch this, if there's something that you feel like you can't track, let me know, because I'm curious if there are things that, like, people are trying to accomplish and they, like, I can't actually track.
Something that's immeasurable.
Like, what's immeasurable, though?
Feelings, emotions.
But what do you mean when you say emotions?
I don't know. Like, if
What
you're...
would be the goal that you're, like...
Let's say somebody... I don't know. Because I don't want this to go somewhere else.
Just
or,
go
like,
to
somewhere dark. I'm like, if somebody is depressed, then how can you say, in 6 months, I want to feel better? But I guess you need to have a better goal, because what does that mean, feel better? Like, what does your life look like? I guess that
Let's say it is just feel better. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say that's the goal. You want to feel better. You can track if you feel better or not.
Yeah, but how?
If you're depressed and the next
Like,
day you
I feel better.
Yeah, and the next day you feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so you want to feel better? Let's get some stuff. What do we need to do in your routine to make you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe get a therapist.
Yeah.
Do you feel better after talking to them? Is that helping? Cool. Is it a little bit better? Cool. Okay. Do you like riding bikes? Whatever it is, do that. Do you feel better?
Yeah, you're right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you can
Okay.
track. I feel like you can track it, because it's that kind of thing. Is you're tracking that yourself. Like, I can't track.
Right, there's no numbers.
Yeah, there's no number, but you know if you're feeling better or not.
That's not true, because if you set yourself like a 6-month goal, however many days, let's just say 180 days, and you track every single day, well, this day I felt bad, this was good. And if you look at it and you have more good days than bad, then mathematically you could say...
And even with the app, they have the app where you can, like,
Mindful?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
There's so many.
It's something in iOS where, like, it sends you a notification. It's like,
It's
hey,
like built in.
Yeah, it's like, hey, how are you feeling? And ask you why you feel a certain way, so you can track that over time, which is kind of cool.
You handed me your phone while we were at Disney, and I saw it on there. It's like, how are you feeling right now? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if he's going to put it, because it was like we were doing something exciting.
We were doing so much stuff that they're like, why do you feel good these days? Like, I don't know. I felt so good. That was so much fun.
Disney.
We're talking about how there are no hacks when it comes to, like, making progress. And looking at the outline, I'm completely contradicting myself kind of, because having clarity is the ultimate hack to making progress on anything. If you can have clear goals and be very clear on what you want to accomplish, it makes making progress so much easier.
Yeah.
I feel like. And it just changes everything, knowing exactly where you want to go.
Yeah. I think clear goals, but also having a clear goal helps you create clear steps, or at least clearer, more clear. You don't know.
Say it one more time.
What's the grammatically correct?
Oh, don't ask me about grammar.
Clearer or more clear? I think it's clearer ways.
Clearest goals, clearest ways.
Whatever. Clearer is what I'm going to say. Steps to that goal.
Say it again, what you're trying to say. I want to make sure.
Have a clear goal. Having the clear goal helps you have clearer steps to get to that goal.
Yeah. So
Because if you have like a muddy goal, like, I kind of want to do this. And okay,
Yeah,
well, you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what path, like, what's the strategy here?
yeah, having a clear goal makes it very easy to build the steps you need to take to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got caught up in clear.
Yeah. And I think I said this earlier, but being consistent and consistently doing the right things and not just staying busy. Because some people they do a whole bunch of stuff and it's like, I think someone says people confuse movement with progress because people will be on a treadmill and running fast on a treadmill. You're still in that same spot. Just because you're running a treadmill and going fast, you're still in one spot.
Yeah.
And someone that's out hiking, walking,
Actually going somewhere.
Grandma 6 years old who can only walk. So she's actually getting way farther than you are on a treadmill because you're in one spot. So doing things that actually move you forward versus just being busy to be busy, those are two completely different things.
Yeah.
You know? And I think we were guilty in that when we first started. We just like would be busy for no reason.
Yeah.
You know? Now, bro, you can ask me to do whatever you want to, but if it's not getting us closer, hell no, I'm not doing it. Because, bro, I'm not going to do something just to do it.
Well, I think that's hustle culture too. Like just being an entrepreneur, it's so, and I think maybe as a society, we're realizing that and getting better. But I mean, I have a mug up in the cabinet that said hustle. It was like matte black, so I liked it.
I like it.
But it was like hustle. And then I just turned it around because I'm like, that was cool in the moment, but I think I'm also like with the girls. I'm always like, do this, hurry, and I'm like, why? Why are we always like, do something, like kind of what you were saying, like being on the treadmill, like moving, but we're not doing anything.
Right.
So
but also, I don't think hustling is wrong. Like when it's time to hustle,
there's
like
a time and a place for it, but it's not always in everything.
Yeah, and you were talking about just the world the way it is, and I feel like a lot of people will scroll socials and see all this stuff and like look for inspiration or motivational quotes and I'm inspired, but never do anything. Like, bro, that's not helping. It's just like staying in treadmill, running in place. If you get some inspiration, cool. If you need that, get it, go scroll, get whatever, but then go out and do.
Yeah.
Take messy action. Like we did this podcast. If you guys remember the first episode, remember we had that stupid light, how it was right here.
The thingy hanging down.
Yeah, everything was ugly. I mean, it's not the best now, but it's better than what it was, So being busy doesn't equal making progress. And we've done a podcast on people who say, I'm so busy. Bro.
That happened earlier today too.
Yeah, it did. People make time for what's important.
Yeah.
So, and when you know your goals, you have it clear and you know where you're going to go, it's easy to say no to stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So don't just be busy to be busy. And I also think, going back on the hack thing, don't look for quick hacks. It's a waste of time if you're looking for a quick hack to you have to do the work.
Yeah.
There's no secret bullet that's going to get accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
That's like all the catchy things that are in social media posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the 5 quick hacks, or you just said a word, I can't remember what it was. The secret to.
Yeah. It's like, bro, no.
The phishing clickable things.
All they're trying to do is get you by their course.
Yeah.
Every single time. I mean, we do it. We do the same thing. We don't sell courses. We should sell a course on something. I don't know what it'd be. I don't know why. I'm just thinking about that. We should sell a course.
It's funny because I've heard it so much.
Yeah.
Like sell a course. Just that phrase. I'm like, ugh.
There's nothing wrong with it if you're doing a course that's dope. But it's like so many people. They just take fan. What we were talking to that discovery call we had today. Like someone was talking about something they learned off of a course. I'm like, bro, that's not true at all. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. Like, are you serious? And I had to break it down why this wasn't true. Like, yeah, but let's not talk about it because I don't.
Yeah. So I almost went into it.
Yeah, I know. So I think we've learned that, and I've said this earlier, is getting clarity on things, and then implementing what we want to do. Like,
Strategy.
get clarity on what we want to do, implement steps to get there, execute those things, and then measure, did we make progress or not? And if we did, keep doing it. If we're not, we need to go back and readjust.
Change
stuff.
it.
Yeah, like adjust. Like, it's just a cycle. And we do our weekly reviews every Sunday. We're reviewing what happened last week, and we're prepping for what the week coming up. And then every quarter, we review the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what worked, what didn't. And that's why people are like, how are you? They ask us questions. I'm like, bro, we didn't just randomly end up the way where we're at right now. It's work. Consistently doing reviews. I get so annoyed when we do reviews. And I feel like we argue when we do reviews. Like, it happens. But it's like, it's worth it. Not argue. I mean, we do sometimes. But
Bicker.
it's worth it, because we get to see progress. And you also get to see what doesn't work. And so you stop doing those things, I just spit all of you, sorry.
It makes me think about all the years that we did not do a review.
I know.
It just seems like time wasted.
I know. Like, imagine where we'd be right now if we were like...
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, if y'all have kids or, like, some kind of milestone in your life where you're thinking, what did I do before then?
Yeah. Our girls now, they know. They're like, hey, so they'll even say, hey, when you do your review, can we talk about this? I'm like, yeah. So I'm waiting for them to, like, want to be a part of us doing reviews. Mm-hmm. They sometimes act like they're doing their own little review, which is... I don't know what they do. That's cute. But it's like, it's just cool because they're seeing us build those habits, and like, hopefully when they'll start doing reviews earlier, and they're going to be way farther ahead by the time they get our age,
what if they grow up? They'll probably end up living in the same city, but
they better, because that'd make it so much easier if they live in the same city. Because if they live in separate places, we're going to have two houses.
No, they have both separately said that they want to work at Disney or for Disney. So
that's your fault. I blame you for that. Somehow,
I'll take it.
Yeah, somehow that's your fault. But anyways, those are just a few things we have learned about making progress.
Yeah.
And not chasing perfection. And if you guys are watching this, we have a newsletter that you can sign up for where we're going to just send out. I think we might send out one for this one, just like tips on getting clarity on what your goals are. And just to be 100% honest, I don't know what we'll send out in the newsletter. But I'm trying to get better at giving people better resources after we do these podcasts, because then we get questions, and like, I wish you guys would ask questions publicly so people can see we're not full of crap. And like, oh, people actually are like following this, but we do get texts and messages and stuff where people do ask us questions. And so I'm trying to get it to where we have a newsletter, and it just goes out, and like every episode, and then it's just actual extra stuff that goes in more detail. Because even though these are long, I feel like sometimes we kind of rush over stuff because we don't want to some things we do just like beat it. But I want to make sure people get value over if they do sign up for newsletter.
Yeah. Something to like a take action type thing. Yeah.
Because I'm like, why are we doing this for? Like, I do love the fact that we're doing these, because our girls later on in life, they'll be able to go back and listen to them like, wow, mom and dad, they knew their stuff. Or they're like, wow, mom and dad.
They'll be like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. But yeah, I think. I
always think it's good to. Because I don't like, have you ever watched a movie or a show or an episode, listen to a podcast, something, and then at the end, you're thinking, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
I think that's the point of sending something out to people. This is what we talked about. These are the steps you could take. And I know I'm guilty of this, where I've watched something and I felt inspired as I was listening, but I get to the end and I can't remember some things.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to go back in and spend another hour listening to something again just so I can get 2 or 3 tips. So I think that would be helpful.
So let's do it then. Let's you can do the email newsletter.
Yay.
We'll figure it. I know. I remember we tried doing newsletters a while ago. We still send out some every now and then, but it's like, I think we should do it. Maybe just sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss episodes. And let's just agree that whenever we send out newsletters, it'll be actual valuable stuff based on the podcast that will help people. They can walk away with, maybe something that we didn't talk about in the podcast, just something extra.
Deal.
I think that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know if you guys are listening to this, if newsletter is something that you think could be valuable.
Beneficial. Valuable.
Beneficial? Value.
Oh.
Beneficial.
It's like the Spider-Man thing.
Hell no. All right. I think that was good. Cool.
Yep.
I'm trying to give you nugs and you just...